Hello everyone, this video is not sponsored. This Sluban brand set goes by a number of different names. I've most commonly seen it referred to as the Great Shark Boat. Set comes with 592 pieces, and I bought it off Amazon for $24 US, which seems to be right in the range of its standard retail price. It goes without saying that this is based off the movie Jaws and the hero boats, the Orca, they're in, but this is not an officially licensed thing. It's just inspired by. But I mean, it's very, very clear. It even comes with 3 minifigures. The build for this was fun, fairly quick, fairly simple, but everything went together pretty much as I would expect it to. Not a whole lot of really interesting build techniques, but good enough, interesting enough, and had some interesting parts that I personally had not seen before, at least not in their exact form, and I did not have any real negative surprises along the way. Worst thing about this is the set of stickers, and here's what the sticker sheet looks like, so you can see just how many of the details are done with stickers, and that includes all of these along the edge right here. And the color match for the tan is not perfect, as you can see right here. So this one piece here with the rope on it has the sticker on it. So yeah, just that background color does not match. That's the worst thing about it. It does come with the stand, which unfortunately does not really connect here, but it holds the boat well enough. I'll go ahead and take this figure off because it wasn't attached there. As this is a relatively small boat, you don't have a whole lot of spots to connect figures all the way around it. It does have some nice little extra features, like you got the little ice box here with some various shapes of pieces of representations of ice, and there's also another one up here in the front. So you got a couple more barrels with a couple more different colors of fish there. They've got dark and light silver, and then also the dark gray, and this little spot has just an additional hold there for some additional cargo. Probably the thing that I like second least about this is that these poles here, which I believe were harpoons, like hand-held harpoons in the real thing, are just kind of dominating the look of it a little bit too much. And I wish that they were relatively lower down. As soon as you take one of these off, I think that the whole thing starts to look better when you're able to see more of the windows, even just like that. Maybe it looks a little bit too modern like that, but yeah, I personally like that look better. You do have the upper deck here, upper control station with a steering wheel off to the side, and that's a sticker for the consoles. This is pretty nice how it goes together with some pieces that I personally haven't seen before. I also like what they did for the shark cartilage, shark mouth cartilage display up there, although the color is weird. It ends up looking like lips. It's supposed to be, it really should have been in either the same tan color or a lighter, like a cream color, or even just white would have worked. It's got a telescope up here, which is maybe just a little bit too high. You can see that their gold color is kind of almost a champagne gold. It's a little bit brighter than you might be used to. You also do need to tie. I didn't cut this down. I should have trimmed it down here, but you do need to tie this particular string. You can see the rest of what goes up here, and that ends up just coming down here. It doesn't really do much. Ends up connecting to just a little bobber there. You can use that for some displays, but it honestly doesn't do all that much. I do like their fishing poles, the fact that they are able to attach in nice and securely to the boat, and then over here you can see the additional option that it has with the string. I'll just keep that guy off to the side for a second. With the string coming down, which actually isn't string, it's a piece of plastic. So that's rigid right there. You can pose that however you want and just have it with the fish off the side, which is, in this case, is being used as bait. These guys have this. This is a radio. This is a classic radio as a unique mold, just one piece. Look at that. Completely was not expecting that whatsoever. You can also attach another fishing pole to this spot right here, and then that can rotate around a little bit. And this does have some interior detail. But before I get to that, I want to finish the bottom. Go ahead and bring us down to here. You see, oh, whoa, focus maybe. See the twin propellers or suggestions of propellers, which are just done with simple gears, not the best representation there, but they wanted to keep something relatively low profile. It's okay. And then the rudders over here kind of stick out. Obviously this, with all those things down here, you need to have the stand. Would have been nice to have a simple and easy option to remove that stuff. I mean, you can do it. You just pull this stuff out. Just lost a piece of ice. Oh no, my fish is going to go bad. Sorry about the trouble with the focusing there. Black on black does not focus well, but you can pull that stuff off. But the way it's designed, it's really intended to be on the stand. With the top removed, you can see the interior is pretty sparse. I mean, it's at the same time limited in how much detail is in there, but also cramped. That's just because it's 6 wide, right? At the cabin, this is 6 wide. The hull is basically 8 wide, something in that range, not exactly. But this just has a bed. They've got a sticker for the pillow over there, a sticker for this clock on the wall, which has an interesting lip. That tile piece has an interesting lip around the outside of it. And then you just have a container over here that represents some stowage and a couple small details down below. And unfortunately, if you try to put a figure in there standing up, just because of the limitations of size here, notice the top right there. See, the hat is going up too high. Oh, this is one thing that I actually didn't try before starting the video. What if I take the hat off and leave just the hair? Because that is a thing. Interestingly, they got a little mini peg hole there. Will this just fit? There we go. Now that has just enough clearance so I can put the top back on. And, you know, you can see the person inside of there, although with the top on, you don't have the light coming in, so it doesn't matter that much. Honestly, not that great for play or display in this space. It's nice to have the idea of the space in there. You know, it technically does work, but it's just not great. It's a little bit difficult to work with. The included shark is a bit comical and derpy, but the quality of the print is fine. Unfortunately, the stand is not. It doesn't really connect there. You've got this bar hole back behind here, but that's going to fall forward now. And if I place this where they intend, now it's not actually attached because they should have used an open stud here. Then it could have actually been more secure, but this tends to want to fall back just a little bit. It's not all that bad, but yeah, stand could have been done slightly better. This is just such a funny looking, balloon looking shark. It's got the stud on the top. It's got 2 anti-studs on the underside, plus the extra bar hole and a handhold here. That's the size of a bar, so you could clip on a hand at that spot. I kind of doubt these figures are trying to be Brody, Quint, and Hooper, but I don't know. Let me know what you think about that. I think their figures are actually pretty cool. I kind of attached them weird here, but it's nice that they've got some additional like physical pieces to add to their outfits. You know, you got the jacket here that's actually 3D. Here you've got the top part of the overalls and part of the vest here as well, with the additional stud on the back of it. And then the way that they did the hats, where the hats actually attach over the hair, is kind of nice, although this one does not have the mini peg hole to allow that. And then for folks who haven't seen these figures before, their hands have little ball joints in them, so you can very slightly move them front and back and side to side in addition to rotating. The heads also have a ball joint, so you can very slightly angle it side to side and front to back. It's very, very subtle in there. And then you also have waist articulation, which you might not be familiar with from, depending upon what brands you've experienced. Independent articulation of the legs. This one right here is a little bit loose right in the legs. It's not the first Sluban figure that I've encountered that issue with, just a little bit of looseness in the legs. This one's relatively fine throughout most of it. This one's completely fine. So yeah, a little bit of variability there, not the absolute top quality. I would rather that they be consistent in one way. It's just more confidence inspiring if they're always coming out the same. Also, for folks who aren't familiar with these, they have a very long spine, which is part of the neck. So there's actually a stem that goes all the way down and connects into the top of the hip piece. And you have to really push that in there. It's really not good for younger kids. It's a thing where, it's like stop and get an adult to help with that, because it does need quite a bit of force. And sometimes when you force that in by pushing from the top, then the neck will compress just a little bit. You got to pull the neck back up to get it its full range. There we go. That's actually better range of motion. I already had mine pre-compressed slightly, so that gives you, just a better, again, range of motion. Although maybe the neck looks a little bit too long now. Push it back down. Something in between there. Yeah, their figures I think are cool in many ways, but also a little bit physically awkward. Again, I paid $24 US, and that was shipped off Amazon for this. That's roughly the standard retail price that I've seen. Not one of their newer sets. It's been out for a while, but also not one of their older ones. I bought this because, in my opinion, just from the outside, without experience, it felt like the Sluban brand was all the way down at the bottom of acceptable quality range, all the way at the bottom in terms of expense. So some of the cheapest stuff that you could get that still had reasonable quality. And after experiencing yet another of their sets, I definitely feel like it's easily in that range. Quality here is fine with 99% of the parts. Again, the stickers aren't the best. The figures aren't the best. Access to the interior, not the best. The design here, having one of these down would have been better. The whole thing, again, just not the best. But for $24 for this much stuff, I do feel like I got a fine deal. I don't feel like I got ripped off here at all. I would do it again. I would try another set from this company in this kind of price range for the amount of stuff. And I will look forward to trying some of their newer products out as well, because they do seem to be a company that has improved over time. Maybe not as fast as some, but yeah, they seem to be a worthy brand. Again, they've been around for quite some time, and I've just been kind of sleeping on them, just kind of honestly looking down my nose at them a little bit too much, which is my own personal bad, my own personal wrong. So giving them more of a chance, and there's some interesting stuff out there. So I will buy more from the company in the future. Try to focus, no, I'll continue to kind of spread the love around, try some of their older stuff that's still on the market today, and some of their newer stuff, most recent releases as well, and kind of see that progress and see more of the value that they offer as a legitimate alternative. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that this video was of some value to you as well. It was a valuable experience for me, honestly. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.